Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And a very comfortable day today out there, wasn't it? Boy, after yesterday's wind and cooler temperatures, a nice one out there today. A little bit of a breeze, but temperatures still on the cool side and very comfortable as we look down at the Wenatchee Valley from our Sky-Fi tower camera. That's up on Wenatchee Heights. We call it the cross camera. And you can see just a few high clouds out there this afternoon and some mid-level clouds, but all in all, our temperature is below normal. And as we take a look at the next 5 days, for tomorrow, we'll see temperatures once again, I think more lower to mid 80s here in the Wenatchee area. It will be a little bit breezy on Saturday. We're going to go in the mid and upper 80s on Sunday, and then much warmer as we get into the first part of next week. Highs on Monday in the middle 90s, cooling to the lower 90s by the time we get to Tuesday. And we'll talk much more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. 8 fitness centers in the Yakima area and a tanning salon in Kennewick were fined this week by the state for operating in violation of Governor Jay Inslee's Safe Start orders. There are still ballots left to be counted, but it appears Republican Jesse Jensen will be U.S. Representative Kim Schreier's opponent in the November election for the 8th Congressional District seat. And National Night Out was to have been held this past Tuesday, but the annual day of connecting community and local law enforcement was yet another casualty of the COVID-19 pandemic. But first, we begin tonight. A man had to be extricated from his vehicle Wednesday night after crashing 75 yards down an embankment north of Bridgeport. Douglas County Undersheriff Tyler Kale said that an unidentified man in his late 20s or early 30s had earlier been reported for speeding on Bridgeport Hill Road. The man was taken by life flight to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee, where he was treated and released. About 9:30 p.m., a deputy investigating the speeding report saw what appeared to be fresh skid marks on the road, and then he followed those until he saw the vehicle down the tree and brush-covered embankment. Because of extensive damage to the car, Douglas County Fire District Number 5 personnel had to use extrication equipment to remove the man, which took until about 10:40 p.m. Deputies are investigating a possible DUI charge. Well, 8 fitness centers in the Yakima area and a tanning salon in Kennewick were fined this week by the state for operating in violation of Governor Jay Inslee's Safe Start orders. The fines totaled more than $77,000 for the fitness centers and $9,639 for the tanning salon. Anytime Fitness in Sela was fined for the second time by L&I. The business has appealed its July 1st fine. Meanwhile, Slidewaters Water Park in Chelan is the only other business in the state to have been fined by L&I. That $9,639 fine also has been appealed. L&I's Tim Church said the department isn't necessarily stepping up its enforcement of Inslee's order in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, but rather following a process that takes some time. Church said on Friday that when the department receives complaints, the potential violators are contacted by phone or email and then issued a cease and desist order. If they still refuse to comply, an investigation is opened. He said most businesses stop voluntarily. Well, there are still ballots left to be counted, but it does appear now that Republican Jesse Jensen will be U.S. Representative Kim Schreier's opponent in the November election for the 8th Congressional District seat. After Tuesday's primary election count, Jensen led fellow Republican Keith Swank by only 58 votes in the 5-county district. As more ballots were counted, Jensen's lead grew to 1,080 votes on Wednesday and then to 2,421 votes yesterday. Schreier, who flipped the seat to Democrats in 2018, easily outdistanced all 8 candidates on the primary ballot as she seeks her second term. Well, National Night Out was to have been held this past Tuesday, but the annual day of connecting community and local law enforcement was yet another casualty of the COVID-19 pandemic. But that didn't stop the people of North Central Washington from extending their thanks on Tuesday. In Wenatchee, that came in the form of people stopping by outside the police station, bringing goodies, cards, letters, and other tokens of appreciation for the police officers. That included a new piece of artwork for the station provided by retired Corporal Guy Milner. Young volunteers also kept a total of cars that honked their support as they drove by the station, with more than 600 honks honks recorded. Well, coming up next, students across north central Washington will start school remotely in coming weeks, but when they return to their buildings, daily at-home health checks will be recommended before starting the school day. Chelan County is exploring ways to adapt to climate change, and you can contribute to that plan. And the father of actor Rainn Wilson, Robert G. Wilson, the East Wenatchee painter and supporter of arts in the Wenatchee Valley, has died. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710. Don't worry, all the fun is around the corner. There's no better time to get ready than now with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa Sale. Stock Up and Save sale is now going on in-store and online at bluelagoonpoolandspa.com. Even pool heaters are on sale. Financing available upon approval. Credit 24-month, no interest with equal payments. Stop by today or order online at bluelagoonpoolandspa.com. Free water testing available in-store or curbside. Don't wait, the sale is going on now.
Welcome back. In another news, students across north central Washington will start school remotely in coming weeks, but when they return to their buildings, daily at-home health checks will be recommended before starting the school day. That's why Cascade School District and Cascade Medical Center in Leavenworth want each student household to have a thermometer on hand. Fever is often an early symptom of COVID-19, so a fundraising drive is on to raise $3,000 to buy and distribute 1,000 home thermometers in partnership with Upper Valley Mend. If you'd like to donate, you can make your contribution through the Cascade Medical Foundation's Facebook page. Well, Chelan County is exploring ways to adapt to climate change, and you can contribute to that plan. The Climate Resilience Workshop takes place remotely on Wednesday with an overview of the county's draft strategy to mitigate climate impacts related to wildfire, water supply, floods, snowpack, and stream flow. The project is being coordinated through the county's Natural Resources Department. You can register through Eventbrite at the address on your screen. The Zoom workshop starts at 10 a.m., coming up, as I mentioned, on Wednesday. Well, Robert G. Wilson, the East Wenatchee painter and supporter of arts in the Wenatchee Valley, has died. Wilson, an author as well as an artist, grew up in the Northwest and lived in New York and elsewhere before settling in East Wenatchee with his wife Carla in 2012. He was also known for being the father of popular actor Rainn Wilson, who starred in the popular TV series The Office. Last year, he discussed his inspirations in a profile for NCWLIFE magazine.
In the January 17th, 1960 issue of Time magazine, they had a spread, a layout of paintings by Frank Stella. And someone threw it at me and said, "Hey, look at this." And I opened it up and looked at that, and all of a sudden it clicked that art wasn't just about rendering or painting objects. It was about painting ideas. And then I could see art in a whole new light. And you look at painters like Edvard Munch, where he paints all this emotion. It's as deep and emotional as a Dostoevsky novel. And painters exploring these various human ideas. And that made me very excited, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to explore, I wanted to come up with ideas that were beautiful, that were thoughtful, that meant something. I really look at the human race as there's just one culture, the human culture. We all participated, and we have since at the beginning of time. We all sing, we all dance, we all make poetry. We all run around in circles, we make masks, we do everything. And this is of the human culture. An artist is a part of that human culture. And when the civilizations and the politicians and the educational institutions all fade away, what's left? The art and the architecture of the people that created things. And that's what I want to be a part of, and that's what motivates me, is to explore these various ideas.
Wilson died Monday at Central Washington Hospital after complications from heart surgery. He was 78 years old. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Looking for a faster way to kickstart your business career? Look to the Charter College Associate Degree in Business Management, a convenient online program at an ABHES accredited institution. You could earn a degree in just 14 months, a degree that positions you for up to 18% higher earnings than a high school diploma. Plus, Charter will assist you in finding a job. Visit chartercollege.edu to get started, because we work to get you to work.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with BlackRock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local BlackRock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The summer of COVID-19 has also been the summer of social justice, with major local demonstrations, including Black Lives Matter. Now, after a series of 5 rallies in the Columbia Basin, the March Against Farm Worker Exploitation arrives in Wenatchee next Saturday, August 15th. 26-year-old Eduardo Cardenas of Quincy is a political candidate for the 13th Legislative District and an organizer of the demonstrations. 19-year-old Xavier Martinez is a Princeton student from Wenatchee, coordinating the local effort. In tonight's feature story, they spoke with NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins.
Now we see that 3 weeks ago, farm workers are dying in Okanagan County out of Gebber's Farms and Okanagan and Brewster, Washington. These growers are asking, they were giving a 15-person maximum per housing unit, and they were asking for a variance to increase to 23 or 24 or 25. They're trying to increase the capacity of these units, knowing that less social distancing would mean more COVID-19 outbreak, more contagion. The highest rates of COVID-19 have been from process workers, from meat packing workers, from agricultural workers. And I found it to be my moral duty as a person who comes from this background, not as a politician, but as a human, to use my platform to bring attention to these issues. And it's working.
I learned that he was kind of spearheading these efforts to support farm workers. It had been an issue that I had been talking to my parents a lot. My dad came to the U.S. As a farm worker from Mexico, and obviously living in Wenatchee, there's a huge relationship with that all around. And so, earlier in the spring, I was pretty concerned about the state's either lack of restrictions or guidelines or or how adequate the ones that they had proposed were for keeping farm workers safe, for keeping migrant workers safe, H-2A workers safe. At those 2 marches that I went to, I said, hey, you got to have one, in Wenatchee. You can really, I think you can get more of a community behind this. We can all reach out to the people that we know that might be in different demographic, socioeconomic segments of the community, and kind of try to bring that together a bit more.
The main issue was the lack of communication between employers and employees. There's been cases here in Quincy as well, in Quincy Foods, for example, where people have been COVID-19 positive, but it's been a secret throughout the company. People find out through the grapevine that their colleagues are infected with COVID-19, and how frustrating must it be to already be aggravated by being a low-income worker, living paycheck to paycheck, and then finding out that your company is literally not trying their hardest to keep you alive. It's really upsetting. Now we see farm workers who are temporary workers with not even the linguistic capabilities to defend themselves, or the societal connections to our region. They're treated as indentured servants. They are brought and they are exploited. They don't know their rights, and they're being taken advantage of.
Living in the Wenatchee Valley, I think everyone can also relate to the agricultural industry. And I think part of that is farm workers' safety. And I think that's part of what this movement, these marches, is trying to do, to instill kind of this stewardship for that community, because it's so closely tied with not only COVID and the safety that's inherent with that, but just with the community. I think it's just as important as when schools open up, and if it's legal to mandate wearing a mask and stuff like that. And I think even regardless of people's opinions on that stuff, it's just ensuring the safety of everyone in the community, right, is something that'll help the community as a whole.
Time now for a check of your north central Washington weather forecast, and we've got the weekend in sight, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's check outside our weather window. And what a beautiful day this afternoon. Light winds out there, and we did see lots of sunshine and nice, comfortable temperatures too, right? High clouds over the Cascades and a few mid-level clouds today, but all in all, temperatures were below normal. In fact, unofficial high temperature in the Wenatchee area, 81, and that's identical to yesterday. So we've had 2 days of pretty cool weather. 88 is normal high, 58. That felt cool this morning, didn't it? That was our low this morning. 63 is normal. Record high 103, and that was set in 1972. Record low 52, set in 2002. Precip so far 2.66 inches. We've been there for a while, folks, and that now brings us 1.90 inches in the negative. That means we're that far behind as far as moisture goes. We should be in the 4 to 5 inch range for this time of year, so it is just tinder dry out there. Sunrise this morning 5:47. Sun will set tonight at 8:25. Let's take a look at what we can expect as we get into our surface loop. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. It will be still a little bit breezy out there. We're talking breezes 5 to 15 miles an hour. A little bit cool tonight once again, a lot like we experienced overnight last night. And then as we kick off our weekend, don't let this fool you too much. We are going to see a little bit of wind right here in central Washington. We're talking about 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. Cooler than normal temperatures, though, will linger from today into Saturday, even though we will see a slight warm up. And then some warmer temperatures as well on Sunday. In fact, by Sunday, our temperatures will pretty much get back to normal, about 88 degrees for Sunday. Light breezes as well, and temperatures, as I mentioned, pretty comfortable in the mid to upper 80s. But by Monday, get ready for some more hot weather. We're going to see sunshine. A brief ridge of high pressure builds over the Pacific Northwest. You can see our color a little bit darker orange. We're talking temperatures 90 to 95 at least on Monday. And then those pesky breezes return on Tuesday. Not bad, though, about 10 10 to 15 miles an hour. Lots of sunshine on Tuesday and nice mild temperatures with highs right around that 90-degree mark. Moses Lake, you might be in the lower 90s. For Wednesday, mostly sunny, and we cool back down again. Not a whole lot, but back to about normal or so as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures mainly in the 80s for eastern Washington, about 90 for us. And then on Thursday, sunshine, temperatures near normal in the upper 80s. And boy, we're seeing clear skies all throughout the western U.S. Notice the lighter orange, though, and that indicates cooler temperatures, which we will see as we get into the middle and late part of next week. And then a little bit of rain moving in. We'll talk more about that next week. But overnight lows tonight, 60 degrees, 58 on Saturday, 84 your high tomorrow, 87 for Sunday. There's our warmest day of the whole 7-day forecast on Monday at 93 degrees. We'll see 90 Tuesday and then cool back in the middle and upper 80s for both Wednesday and for Thursday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Pybus Public Market's motto is where community meets. Whether it's people, enjoying an event, or they meet a colleague for coffee and whip out their laptop and are able to actually do work here, having quick and reliable Wi-Fi is one of the things that makes Pybus such a great community hub. It just contributes to the welcoming place that we want Pybus to be. I'm Allie, and fiber keeps people connected, and that's what Pybus Market is all about.
Introducing the most capable Sierra lineup ever.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Finally Friday to you. There will be no football this fall for Eastern Washington University or the rest of the Big Sky Conference. Presidents of the 13-school conference voted Thursday not to pursue a fall football season due to coronavirus concerns, postponing the 2020 season to the spring of 2021. And that's similar to the high school plan here in Washington. Big Sky will start the conference-only schedule as early as February. Eastern Washington was set to begin practice next week. The rest of the fall sports schedule still under review. Wenatchee Valley Super Oval is back to racing this weekend at the quarter-mile asphalt track up on Fancher Heights with the Les Schwab night at the races. Racing Saturday night features the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models in Glen Knutson. The Mountain Dew Junior Late Models, that features drivers from 11 to 15 years of age. Dick's Heating Air Conditioning Thunder Cars. And, of course, the always wild and crazy Plum Perfect Roadrunners. And also the racing will include the Bandoleros. Now these cars feature drivers as young as 8 years of age. So far 44 drivers and teams have signed up for the 5 classes this weekend. Practice session tonight at 5. Practice starts tomorrow at 2:40. Our live coverage begins on NCWLIFE at 6 o'clock with the Pro Late Models qualifying. Join myself and Greg Rentz for all the action on television here on Channel 12 or Charter Channel 19. Live on our website at ncwlife.com. We'll also be live with the Facebook stream as well. Well, the Seattle Seahawks are apparently shopping around for more defensive help. NFL Network's Mike Silver tweeted yesterday that the Seahawks appear to have moved on from Jadeveon Clowney, who wants more than they're willing to pay. Team is interested in 2 free agents, pass rushers, linebacker Clay Matthews and defensive end Everson Griffin. A deal could happen soon, according to Silver. Matthews, an 11-year veteran who played last year with the Rams. Griffin, coming off a Pro Bowl season a year ago for the Vikings. Both played for Coach Pete Carroll at USC. Meanwhile, Seattle cornerback Quinton Dunbar got some great news today. Dunbar's lawyers told the Miami Herald that Dunbar will not face prosecution in the armed robbery case brought against him due to insufficient evidence. As a result, the Broward State Attorney's Office has dropped all charges against Dunbar. He still faces the hurdle of being put on the NFL's commissioner's exempt list as it investigates the matter. If he's removed from that list, he can join the Seahawks for training camp. Well, the news was not so good for the other involved in that armed robbery. New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker still faces 4 counts of robbery with a firearm. If convicted, Baker will face a mandatory minimum 10 years and up to life. Well, Seattle continues training camp. All eyes focused on the second season for wide receiver DK Metcalf. The 6'4", 229-pound second-round pick out of Mississippi wowed the NFL last year with jaw-dropping catches and his incredible physical strength. Coach Pete Carroll says there's no reason DK won't improve even more in his second campaign.
He's going to be better this year. He had an incredible offseason. He spent I don't know, at least a month with Russell working out, and they found a way to do it, and they had a phenomenal summer in that regard. What gives him a chance to be a really exciting player is his mentality. He knows exactly who he is. He knows where he's come from. He knows what it's all about. He's not going to let anybody get in the way of him being all he can be, and that's all we could ever ask for. What that is, I don't know. But now we know we can move him around. We can ask him to do a lot of different stuff. We were hesitant because he was a young player and all, but we weren't sure if he was able to handle stuff. But we know now he's really a bright football player, and he's got flexibility, and he blocks, and he can rip down the field. So we hope to just use him more than ever and fit him together in this team. And it's what he wants to do, but he's here to do something special now. There's nothing about anything that he's done that doesn't make is screaming that he wants to do something really special.
Now, Metcalf said he learned a lot by watching and mimicking the veterans around him last year and hopes to take another step forward this season.
Try to adapt everything that I do, but my weekly routine never changed last year. And I think that was kind of weird to me because I didn't get bored of it. I didn't get tired of it. I didn't get tired of coming in and learning new plays or watching the same old plays that we've run. It was just kind of just fun just being here. I know I had a few drops last year that I gotta clean up, and just expanding my role in the offense and learning the offense more. I know last year I was just getting my feet wet with everything in the offense and being in the league, but it's just taking the next step, taking my game to the next level.
Metcalf and the rest of the Seahawks were looking towards a scrimmage at CenturyLink Field August 22nd since there's no preseason games this year. Well, the Mariners wrapped up their series with Los Angeles yesterday at T-Mobile Park, dropping a 6-1 decision. Taijuan Walker got roughed up for 4 runs on 3 hits and 3 2/3, giving up a home run to Shohei Ohtani while walking 3 and striking out 3. Daniel Volgebock hit his first home run of the year, a solo shot in the 4th.
Bogey gets into one, and that's his first home run of the season. I was just pulling out the paper to see when his last one was. He was so due. Good for Volgebock. Last home run was September 6th last year at Houston. Needed that. Arizona board.
Anytime you hit balls over the fence, that's what my job is. Get on base and hit homers. The early scuffling, it really wasn't panicking at all too much. It's 20-some at-bats into the season. I'm walking, getting on base. So just trying not to panic, just keep taking it day by day and doing my work and believing that if I put the work in, that at the end of the year, everything's going to be taken care of.
Colorado comes to town to begin a 3-game weekend series tonight. Yusei Kikuchi on the mound against the Rockies' Antonio Senzatella. On the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard for last night, Mark Canha's 2-run single highlighted a 4-run 4th as Oakland beat Texas 6-4. Cole Calhoun's walk-off 2-run double in the bottom of the ninth gave Arizona a come-from-behind 5-4 win over Houston. A's lead in the West is now 2.5 games over the Astros. Seattle 4.5 games back of Oakland in 4th place. Reminder, what's coming up on the broadcast schedule this weekend on NCWLIFE. There's West Coast League Baseball on tonight as the Apple Sox take on the Portland Pickles at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. 6:30 airtime for that. Eastmont and Wenatchee boys soccer featured tomorrow at 2, followed by live racing action from the Super Oval at 6. Then on Sunday, we'll start things off with Big 9 volleyball from last October between Wenatchee and Moses Lake. That's at 2 o'clock. Then at 7, Big 9 football from September of 2017 as Eastmont hosts West Valley in a great game of our past. That's sports news. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and sane. We'll see you on Monday. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And finally, and that's going to do it, I should say, for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend.